guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Denali and I am a full-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. And this is a series where I sit in my car and I talk about things that are timely or going on in my life right now. And sometimes it's business, sometimes it's personal. Today I wanted to talk business with you. So in my last video, I was talking about how my next space that I'm going to is going to be much smaller than the warehouse that I'm in right now. Just for perspective, I am in a 2,000 square foot warehouse currently, and the space that I am going to be in next is less than half of that. So quite a huge difference. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I will link it somewhere, I think here in the video. However, yesterday I started going through some bins of inventory and going one by one, looking at each piece against my inventory system. And I started getting ruthless. I guess that's the best term I can come up with for what I was doing. I started making decisions on, what I was going to keep, what I was going to send out for consignment, whether it be ThredUp or the Real or what have you, other places, Plato's Closet, stuff like that. And then what stuff I just was going to redonate. And I'm trying to think if there was like another pile of stuff that I made. It'll come to me if there was. But I haven't done this in a while. Full disclosure, it's been a while since I've done an inventory like this where I'm just kind of purging items. Usually I use auctions on eBay to just kind of clear out old inventory, which I have been doing. I run like hundreds of auctions every week, but some stuff for whatever reason just doesn't sell. And so that's when it's, I guess, time to get ruthless. So here I am, because I am in the home stretch. I've got a short amount of time left before I will be moving into my new space. And so I guess I just wanted to talk about like what it felt like yesterday, kind of going through that stuff. If it's been a while for you, maybe this will kind of be inspirational in that way. So I was really dreading doing this task. And once I started it yesterday, I went for like my first bin of inventory. And I went through that first bin and I was surprised how unemotional, and maybe it's kind of the state that I'm in general, but unemotional I was about the inventory when I was going through it. I thought I would be more, I thought that I would think to myself, no, I have to keep this. No, I have to keep that. But instead I was like, oh, yeah, let's get rid of this. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yes, we're done with that. It was a really nice and freeing feeling. And then there were items that were higher dollar items that I thought maybe I would have been upset, like why hasn't this sold? Or even worse, and we all know this happens, it falls off of a platform for one reason or another, and you think to yourself, like, what the heck? Why has this not been listed? Like, no wonder I still have it and hasn't sold. It just hasn't been listed. I thought I would be more upset by those items, and I wasn't. And if anything, when I got to those items, for instance, I think there was like, there were some just nicer higher end jeans that I found. And I just thought, okay, like, let's just send these off to the Real or ThredUp. I was over it. I don't want to have them in my closet anymore. Like, I'm done. They were in there at one point. They were listed on all the platforms at one point. They didn't sell at this point. And now we kind of need to just move on from it. So I really surprised myself on how much grace I was willing to give myself about this inventory that had fallen off essentially. So then after I did the first bin, which didn't take me that long, I want to say, I think it took me maybe not even 20 minutes. I think it was like 15 minutes. I went to the next one, and essentially I ended up doing 4 bins in an hour. And I think I could probably go faster than that. I didn't really have my process kind of worked out. I need to set up some boxes of, a ThredUp box. And I was kind of like just throwing stuff in a pile, so it got a little chaotic. But I want to set up some boxes so that I can just throw stuff, right? Like if I'm going to be sending it to ThredUp or sending it to the Real, I'll just chuck it in the box. Or if I'm going to donate it, I'll just chuck it in that box. So I want to set myself up so I'm a little more organized today, because I do think that I can bring that like per bin time probably down to like maybe 10 minutes, which would be nice, because then that's like what, 6 bins an hour? Is that 6 bins an hour? It's early. It's like 8 in the morning right now. So give me credit if I'm a little slow. So with that said, it was just a nice feeling to kind of move through this stuff. And by the time I got to the second bin, the wheels were sort of greased. By the third bin, I was like, oh yeah, like I got this. My husband called me at one point yesterday and was like, when are you coming home? And I was like, let me finish this bin, because the process was going. And then it was also nice just to see my inventory number come down, which is going to be and is a part of the process that I'm in right now, has been seeing my total inventory number come down. It's so nice. I mentioned in my last video, I grew out of necessity, right? I was the situation that I was in, self-imposed situation, but there was a lot of different factors in it. And so I never anticipated having thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of inventory. And, prior to that, I was running an inventory that was probably like maybe 1,000 to 2,000 pieces. And that's really where I want to be back, in that place, because I feel like that's kind of a nice sweet spot. So to think that I'm by no means close to that 1,000 to 2,000 right now, but to think that I could be there in maybe the next couple of months is a really nice feeling. Everything feels, at that level, feels more manageable, more, I feel more in control over. I feel like in those situations of having 1,000 to 2,000 pieces, or even less than 1,000, right? You have a better idea of what is in your inventory, which sounds probably to anybody who doesn't have a small business where they sell things, probably sounds overwhelming, and how could you know everything in there? And maybe even some of you would be like, I don't know every piece of my inventory. I feel like I did. when I had a smaller inventory, I really feel like I did. Whereas yesterday, I really proved to myself that I don't know what's still here, and I don't know what I don't have listed, but is in inventory. And that to me doesn't feel good, because it's probably been like that for a little while. And there's good stuff. Like I said, there's good stuff, but you can't sell what isn't listed. So, I'm going to continue working on that today. Right now, my thought is I'm going to go into the warehouse. I'm going to start shipping. Once I finish shipping, because it's a little bit of a lighter day than the past couple of days have been. Once I complete my shipping, I'm going to force myself to just start going through bins for the rest of the day. I don't know. We'll see how long I last, like my stamina of kind of doing a task like that for, 6 hours. Yeah, which would be nice, because I did say, could I get going like 6 bins an hour? That would be 36 bins, which I'm trying to think. There's on a shelf, I think I have 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm like, how many is there 4? Okay, well, let's say hypothetically it's 12 bins per rack. 12, 24, 36. I could knock out 3 racks. Okay, that's exciting. The thought of 3 racks being emptied, and that's another part of this process, right? Because once I, empty these racks, and let me just cut in here and say, I am reducing the amount of racks and bins that I have. And so, like I said, I am keeping some pieces. So if there was something in one of those bins I want to keep, I'm reassigning it to one of the bins that I'm keeping. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of like moving the inventory. But my goal is to like have what I keep be like half or less than half of really what's in that bin. I mean, if I kept nothing, wouldn't that be, I can go through it a lot faster, right? That's like a dream world right there. So once I get rid of the items that are in those bins, I've now got, I have to get rid of these bins and racks. That's just another component of leaving the warehouse, right? My business grew so much. Obviously I need supplies and equipment that supports that. But now the next space I'm going into, I don't have the room, right? Even if I want to keep that stuff, I don't have the capacity or room for it, nor do I really have the need for it anymore. So I am going to have to sell those items, which I'm not really excited about, because that's just like in-person sales and it doesn't sound very fun. But it'll be fine. It is what it is. I'm like, maybe I can repurpose some of it into my own garage. I kind of would like to do that, but yeah, we'll get back to that. Oh yeah, that could be nice. I gotta move those shoe racks. And he's squirrel. So anyway, that's my goal for today, is to really buckle down and see if, I said 3 racks, right? It would be really nice to move through 3 racks with 36 bins today and get stuff sent out to ThreadUp and just kind of get that going so I can have, you know, other income in that way, right? Because that stuff is no longer going to be able to sell. Some of it couldn't sell because it wasn't even listed. And then just, again, just reducing what I've got going on at the warehouse. So yeah, that's it. I'm eternally a chicken with my head cut off here, but I have to remind myself every day that, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Which I don't want to eat an elephant. I'm an animal lover, but you got to do it one bite at a time. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to focus on one bite at a time. And if saying to myself, 2 to 3 racks, 3 ideally, but 2 to 3 racks, if I could complete that today, that's great. Because then the next day it'll be another 2 to 3, and then another 2 to 3, and then I'm actually probably done because I don't need to get rid of every single rack. So yeah, so that's it for me. Let me know if you've been doing, here we are. You know, I know a lot of people do that inventory at the end of the year. Well, you know, it is what it is. I didn't get it completed at the end of the year, so I am doing it right now in terms of purging that sort of inventory. But let me know, have you done that? Do you find yourself more or less emotional when you're going through stuff, that sort of stuff? I really was shocked. And, you know, did it surprise you how you felt about it when you're in the moment going through that stuff? Let me know. I'm curious. Is this just like the situation I'm in, or is this kind of like a universal experience? It's funny how in this job, so many things do become a universal experience in the reselling niche world. All right, well, I have work to do and I can't procrastinate any longer. It was great checking in with you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.